Hello everyone, I welcome you all for today's session on digital system design using Verilog. Lecture 4 on module 2 that's about memory. I'm your friend Madhavas Khanderao, Assistant Professor, Department of ENC, Gausia College of Engineering, Ramnagar. If you're new to my channel or if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell icon for further notification or go to the description for the earlier videos. So in today's session, we'll be covering about flow through SSRAM and pipeline SSRAM. In the previous session, already we have covered the theoretical part. Today, we'll be concentrating on how to write the Verilog program for flow through SSRAM and pipeline SSRAM. First, let us concentrate on the flow through SSRAM. We'll try to implement algorithm using flow through SSRAM. The first example what we have here is that design a circuit that computes the function y is equal to ci into x square, where x is a binary coded input value and ci is the coefficient stored in the flow through SSRAM. X, ci, and y are all signed fixed point values with 8 pre-binary points and 12 post-binary points. So the index I is also an input to the circuit encoded as 12-bit unsigned integers. The value for x and I arrives at the input during the cycle when a control input start is 1. So the circuit should minimize the area by using a single multiplier to multiply Ci by x and then by x again. So this is the given question there. Now for this particular given question, we have to draw the block diagram and we have to analyze the algorithm and then we have to write the Verilog program. Okay. First, let us see the block diagram, what is deduced here. Okay, now we want to implement a function y is equal to ci into x square in the given question, where the given prefix they are saying it as they are all having a pre-decimal point as 8 bits and after decimal points as 12 bits. Okay, that's about the programming part. We'll just check it out later. Now let us see the algorithm, what is there. Now here we need to perform 3 multiplication. One is x into x, another one is multiplied with the ci there. Okay, so now we have to store the information in the SSRAM. Okay, so what is that SSRAM it is storing is that it is a coefficient value which is being getting stored in the SSRAM. And the X values are input to the D flip-flop here. And the respective output of a memory and the flip-flop is given to a multiplexer. And if you observe, output of a memory is given to 0 and the output of a flip-flop is given to the 0. And if a select line is 0, if you observe multiplier select line is 0, then x is multiplied with the coefficient ci because it is selected and given as an input to a multiplier. So multiply will multiply and the result whatever is obtained is stored it in a flip-flop. As we know, flip-flop stores the results there. And the output is again fed back to the multiplexer here. Okay, because again we need to multiply with the x, and when the select line is 1, what happens? Whatever the previous result of multiplexer is there, that is multiplied with the new value of the x which is given to the another multiplexer. So once the select line is 1, x is multiplied with the previous result and the result is 2. Finally we get the result. This is the algorithm what we have it. And to control all these operations, we have a memory location, select line, chip enable for the flip-flops, and the clock them. And what kind of operation it is performing, read or write operation here for the memory. So this is the simple explanation of the block diagram, what we have it for the given algorithm there, that is y is equal to ci into x square. Now, whatever I explained it, we have written it in theoretical form. Okay, so this is the thing what the operation is being carried out. We are considering a memory of 4K into 20-bit. Why 20-bit? Pre-decimal point 8-bit, after decimal point 12-bit, so total it is 20 bits. So the size of the memory is 4K. where the coefficients are stored. Okay, where the coefficients are stored. The computation then starts depending upon the value of the I there, what it is receiving. Okay, and the X, what it is receiving into the flip-flop, and if the start signal is 1. Okay, so the computation starts with the index value I being stored at the SSRAM address register and the data input X being stored in the register here. That's about the flip-flop. In the second clock cycle, the SSRAM performs the read operation. So whatever the coefficient is stored in the memory is been read. And the coefficient read from the SSRAM is then multiplied with the X value, whatever the output is coming from the flip-flop, and the result is stored in the another register here. So on the third clock cycle, what happens is that whatever the multiplied output is there, it again comes back to the multiplexer here. Okay, the multiplexer selects the input are changed so that the value in the output register is further multiplied by the stored X. It means that when the select line gets changed, whatever the previous result is there, that is multiplied with the new value, that's the value of the X, what we have, and the result is stored back here. So totally, it is considering 3 clock cycle to perform the given operation. And to control all these things, we have control section, which we need to develop it here. And we already know that to control any operation, we need to design an FSM. That is finite state machine that controls the given signal or the operation there. So it is helpful to draw a timing diagram to understand the sequence of the operation to draw the finite state machine there. To draw a timing diagram showing the progress of computation in each data part and when each of the control signal is needed to be activated. Now let us see the timing diagram of a flow through SSRAM. You can observe in the figure that there are totally step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 1 is again repeated there, and the control signals. As we said that when the start is 1, then only the operation has to perform. Okay, when the start becomes 1, and depending upon the enable signal activated and the X input becoming 1 during the start 1, what happens is that the respective data is read in a signal, and once the data is available, it is been disabled there. So enable is disabled afterwards. Now if you observe, the output enable is made 1 and multiplexer select line is 0. When multiplexer select line is 0, it performs the coefficient multiplication because it has been read already when the start is 1 and X is 1. And it performs the operation and stores the result. Okay. And select line of the multiplexer is changed to 1. And since already the available data is present there, okay, so it multiplies the previous result with the available value of the X and stores the result in the step 3. Okay, so this is the control sequence for the given timing diagram of a flow through SSRAM there. So let us understand the same timing diagram with the help of an FSM there. Okay, if we can observe in the step 1, if the initial condition is 0, it remains it in the same state. Step 1. And what are these ones? We'll just understand here. The first one is RAM enable input. That is chip RAM enable input is 1. Next is X. That is the D flip-flop input is 1. Chip input is 1. Select line is 0. Multiplexer select line is 0. And output of Y is 0 there. Okay. So what happens here is that in the first step, it reads the data from the memory location and from the flip-flop of X there. Okay, and then it goes to the output. Now if you observe here, in the state itself, we are getting the output. So we say this one as more state machine. So the FSM, whatever we designed is a more machine there. Okay. So what happens here is that when chip enable line of the RAM and the X is 1, it captures the input from the respective memory and the X there. And then depending upon the select line, it performs the operation there. So when start changes to 1, so 0, when start changes to 1, we change the RAM enable and X enable to 0. And the transition to the step state 2 starts computation there. So in step 2, what happens here is that whatever the data what we have read gets multiplied here. Okay, and once it gets multiplied, it need to be stored, right? So the last one is our y there. So it is made 1. So the result is getting stored in the step 2 for the first multiplication. Okay, and in step 3, what happens is that we have to change the select line. If you observe the third bit in the state 3, it is becoming 1. Once this becomes 1, it receives the new data. There is a x value and it multiplies with the previous result of y and stores it in the output y there. So in this way, it is performing the operation of the given multiplier then. So FSM then transit back to the step 1 on the next cycle. So it goes back to the step 1 because entire operation has been completed and again it has to go to the step 1 if the next data comes. Okay, so this is the control design for the flow through SSRAM there. Now, since we know that we have studied about the SSRAM concepts about the flow through, now let us see how it is been written in the Verilog. Okay, so now we need to declare the variable that represent all the location in the memory. And what is the format for analyzing the memory location in the Verilog? So the way to do this one is to declare the array variable. So this is the one thing which is being written in the Verilog. So we write the memory in the form of array, which represents a collection of values, each with an index that corresponds to its location in an array. As we know, index, what we are saying is that it's nothing but each address. At each address, it will be storing the information. Now, let us take a simple example, what you used it in the previous example there. The size is 4K, each of 16 bits. So if you observe 4K, so it is 2 raised to how much it becomes 4K? It is 2 raised to 12. Okay, so it is 0 to 4096. Actually, it is 4096. As we know, memory is starting from 0 and set n minus 1. So it is 4096 minus 1 is 4095. So this is the size of the RAM, each of 16 bits. So there's a each memory location is acting like a register there of 15 down to 0 there. So this is how we represent an array of memory in the Verilog. Okay, clear? So let us see that in an example how it can be read in the flow through SSRAM concept. Now, if you observe, we have declared the memory from 0 to 495 and each of 16 bit. How it can be written as a flow through. In Verilog program, as the sensing signals are only clock, so we say that program as synchronous design. And if you observe here, this is a synchronous design of SSRAM. So enable is 1, and if enable is 1, and then if write enable is 1, it performs the data to be written into the memory location. Whatever the from input data it is receiving, it stores it in memory location. Since it is a flow through concept, the same input goes to the output end. Else, we have to perform a read because it was write which we did it. Now we need to perform read. Read means what? We have to read the data from the memory, so we have only data. So this is the simple way to represent a memory with the help of Verilog code. So on the rising edge of the clock, the block checks the enable input and only performs an operation if it is 1. Okay. So if the write control is 1, whatever I discussed now, the block updates the element in the RAM and the same thing is passed down to the output because it is a flow through. And if write enable becomes 0, it performs the read operation. Okay, so this is a simple thing what we have explained about the always block for the given memory location. Okay, now let us see the Verilog program for the given question y is equal to ci into x square. Now if you observe in the previous block diagram, it is saying that pre-decimal point it is 8 bit, after decimal point it is 12 bit. So we have represented that it is 7 colon minus 12. Y output, same thing for Cin as well as X because all the inputs are having same thing. And we also know that I is having 12 bits, so 11 down to 0. We need a start bit to start the operation, clock, reset. Okay, so we need other signals also, which we have declared it in other format. That's about wire and registers. So wire we need for a write enable, then RAM enable, chip enable for multiplexer, and there is a flip flop of X, multiplexer select line output, chip enable Y. Then respective registers has to be declared for the whatever the output what we have, that is C out 7 colon to 12 bits, X out 7 colon to minus 12, RAM also same thing. Okay, and then the intermediate operand what we are reading it from the memory and the chip, operand 1 and operand 2. Since we know that there are three states, parameter we have defined 1 colon 0 because three state can be represented with 2 bits. So it is 0 0 for step 1, 0 1 for step 2, and 1 0 for step 3. Okay, so we have two states. One is current state and another one is next state. Because when current state completes the operation, go to the next state. Then the initial operation, what we are doing is that write enable is 0. So the same flow through program, what we have written, we have just taken it here. Okay, pause edge of the clock. If enable is 1, write enable is 1. Whatever the input we want to give, that is stored it in a RAM. And the same thing is passed to the Cout because it is flow through them. And else it should perform read. So whatever is there in the RAM, it should go to the out. So this is flow through program what we have. Now let us see the operation of the multiplication in this particular always block there. Okay. So at pause edge of a clock, output chip enable is 1, it is checking. And then if multiplexer is 0, whatever the operand 1 and operand 2 is, we are getting the value from memory to the operand 1 and the X value to the operand 2. If multiplexer is 0, it performs the operation of Ci into X here and gives the value to the Y. If multiplexer is 1, X is multiplied with the previous result of a Y there, which is stored it in operand 2. Okay, so this always block is performing the given operation of Y is equal to Ci into X square. Okay, and next we are writing another always block to check the state of registers. Okay, here we are not written the exact program there because we are not dealing with the in depth. So you can write it at pause edge of the clock, at always next state logic, and another one is output logic here, end module. So this is a draft program what we have written it for the given function Y is equal to Ci into X square. Now let us concentrate on the pipeline SSRAM. Okay, what is the changes what we have to do it for the given flow through SSRAM for the same previous problem is the concept what we have to do it here. So suppose we discover that in the data path of the previous example, the combination of SSRAM access time plus the delay through the multiplexer and the multiplier is too long. So if you observe, whatever the access time from the SSRAM and the delay from the multiplexer, if it is not matching, if it is too long, then this causes the clock frequency to be slow to meet our performance constraint. So it may create a problem in the design. So we need to change the memory from the flow through to a pipeline SSRAM. So what may be the problem if you're using the flow through, and what is the solution of that one? You have to check it out with the help of a pipeline SSRAM. So the problem here it may occur is that reading the data from the SSRAM may be too longer when it is compared to the reading the data from the flip-flop. So if it is not matching and if it's too long, then there is a problem. It may not meet the given task. Okay, so now to perform the given task of Y is equal to Ci into X square, we are just modifying the same circuit a little bit. What is that? We'll just check it out there. So as a consequence of SSRAM change, the coefficient values is available at the SSRAM output one cycle later, because as we were just saying, reading the data, it may create a problem. It may take one cycle extra there. To accommodate this, what we can do is that we first need to multiply the X value, that is X into X, and then multiply with the coefficient value. So instead of going to the wait state, because of the 1 clock extra here, first we multiply the X by itself and then perform the multiplication to the coefficient in the third cycle. So this is way what we can save the time there. So what is the change in the hardware? What we have done is that if you observe, X was connected to 1 here. Now output of SRAM is connected to 1, whereas X is connected to 0. So what happens here when select line becomes 0, X is multiplied with X and the result is stored in Y. And then when select line becomes 1, whatever X is multiplied with X, that the previous result is multiplied with the coefficient of a data what we are receiving from the memory here. So this is what is happening in the step 3. So this is the change what we have to do it. You can just compare it here in the given circuit diagram. So this is the new modified diagram of a pipeline SSRAM, and this is the flow through diagram. If you observe in the flow through diagram, X was connected to here 1, whereas here X is connected to 0, and RAM was connected to 0 and RAM is connected to 1. This is the change. So this change is making this circuit as pipeline SSRAM, whereas the previous one what we had designed was flow through SSRAM. So modeling a pipeline SSRAM in Verilog is somewhat more involved, as we must represent the internal connection from the memory storage to the output register and ensure that the pipeline timing is correctly represented. So we must show that whatever we are writing in a Verilog program, it is meeting the timing constraint of the pipeline operation there. So one approach is that extending our previous always block for a 16-bit wide memory is this way. If you observe what is the change, what we are doing it in a program is that always block, if you observe whatever the data, what we are reading out, so if pipeline enable is 1, okay, so data out is going to the pipeline output is going to the data output and making it as enable 1. So once this enable 1 is activated, it goes to the pipeline 1, okay, it performs the data write operation if it is write, data read operation if it is read. So write is what? Data in is going to the RAM, and data in is going to the pipeline output. It's a pipeline, not to the external output there. Okay, external output here. And if read is 1, whatever the data is there from the memory, it is read to the pipeline output again. And finally, it is given to the output. So this is the modification what we have to do it in a Verilog program. So these two statements, we are adding it with the help of a intermediate signal called as pipeline data output, depending upon the pipeline enable signal what we have. Okay. So these are the changes what we have to do. So the variable pipeline enable saves the value of the enable input on a clock edge so that it can be used on the next clock edge to control the output register. So what happens enable pipeline enable is that it stores the value and it can be used for the next clock cycle for the required operation. Similarly, the variable pipeline D output saves the value read or written through the memory on one clock edge for the assignment to the output on the next clock edge if the output register is enabled. So if output register is enabled, then it stores the value the next clock cycle. So pipeline enable and pipeline data out is used to store the value for one clock cycle. That's the advantage of using the pipeline SSRAM. Okay. If you have any questions, go to the comment section, write down the question, I'll reply to your question. If you like my video, subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. If you like my video, click on the bell icon for further notification. Thank you.